Welcome to Info Flash. Say, did y'all lose power yesterday too? Yeah, when the lights went out, there I was cooking dinner. Oh, well, if we're getting specific, I was nuking a half-eaten burrito I found wedged in my couch cushions. Yeah, I know I shouldn't have. After all, I heard microwaves zap out all the nutrients. But hey, it kills the cockroaches too, so, you know, you win some, you lose some. Anyway, what was I... Right, the power outage. Apparently some plant out...
All right, and welcome. Thank you for joining me on Don't Look Now. We're playing Cyberpunk 2077 again. I have returned to the game multiple times. I do find my own ways of enjoying the game. Hopefully, CDPR will make their way to the stage and show us what they've been working on to make Cyberpunk 2077 better for us all. But before you go, do me a favor, jump down in the comments section and just say hi. Tell me games that you've been playing, games you'd like to see me stream, and I will try to add them to my overall streaming queue. All right, I'm going to work a little bit here on the overall volume. Usually around 30 is pretty good for the in-game audio, but I don't want to go too low to where I can't hear it myself. I'm not too worried about copyrighted music. I don't really monetize or try to monetize my videos right now. If I am going to monetize, I obviously turn off those. But, alright, back on it. So, previous video I did was with Cana Bridge of Spirits. So I've been trying to mess with that game. And now I'm trying to work with my Astro A50 headset that I have had sporadic success with. The previous one I did with Cana Bridge of Spirits was just straight out of the microphone that comes from the DualSense controller, so not 100% sure. Sometimes with this A50 headset, by itself, you know, its audio is really good. It's 3D audio. It's overall sound, but it's got this button on the side earpiece that is supposed to give you the ability to turn down the audio, game audio, and just listen to your voiceover audio. And sometimes when I press the button, it maxes out both audios. And then when I press the down button for the in-game audio, it minimizes all the way the audio. So I'm a little torn on the A50 gaming headset for streaming and picking up my voice audio. I probably just need to plug it in, and then it like syncs up with the base station. But anyway. So primarily what I do when I stream Cyberpunk 2077 is I just kind of enjoy Night City. I've enjoyed spending time roaming the city and logging all the things that I would like to see make changes, or becoming extremely familiar with the city, so when the next gen upgrade comes about, these areas that I've become familiar with just through repeated gameplay and repeated roaming, I'll say, hey, yeah, that's changed, that's different. Obviously, the biggest thing that I would like to see changed is all these doors become unlocked. I called it my own personal Keys to Night City. So if CDPR gives us a DLC or an expansion to the game, just give us the Keys to Night City to where we can unlock doors, we can go to vendors and sit down at their kiosks or at their food stands and enjoy the food that they have advertised, have them actually serve it to us like they do in so many cutscenes. There are so many... oh, you know what? This is a mission. I'm trying to remember what mission, where you have just completed... I don't know if you've killed somebody and you run out this way, and N54 News is standing right about here, and she's doing one of her broadcasts. Not quite sure which mission that is. But yeah, the next gen update primarily is why I play so much. It is this mission, never mind.
V, have a look at the attached and go to the given address. There, you will take a car from Sergei Karasinski. Your job is delivery to the Tiger Cross. The car only, I mean, not Sergei. Everything understood? I hope so.
Yeah, I understand for the most part. And I do try to enjoy getting new missions this way. They are still abrupt. They do come in between current missions that you're on. Just because you've crossed over an invisible barrier that says, okay, now we have to trigger this gig. But when I do get them, I try to read the overall brief, what gig type it is, the location. The location things I really do appreciate because at some point I'd like to get in Cyberpunk 2077, get to the point where I know garage on Redwood Street. So I would go to Redwood Street and then find the garage there because as you notice, my heads-up display, now I'm not quite sure why it has the health display up there because the health display is dynamic. Even if you go into your settings and you go to video, or is it interface? Yeah, video interface. So you can see I have stamina and oxygen on. Every other HUD visibility item I have off because I don't need it to play the game. It makes the game much more immersive if you take some of this stuff off. I mainly take off mini-maps in games if it can still be played otherwise. Because normally maps are just to give you breadcrumbs to follow and then you completely ignore everything in your periphery as you're following the breadcrumb or the waypoint that's on your screen, or you're constantly looking down at the minimap and you're forgetting the entire world around you. So I turn off the minimaps. So the ones that have requested to have the minimap zoom out so you can see which way you're going, you're kind of missing the point, or you're missing an opportunity to experience Night City by looking at Night City and becoming familiar with what Night City's telling you versus just constantly looking down at the minimap or up at the minimap and following the breadcrumb, which for me, I haven't used it in many hours. Hundreds and hundreds of hours I've played without the minimap. But I'm a little curious why the health bar is up there. Sometimes it has to do with health, but I'm maxed out on health, so it should go away. So I don't know why. See, it went away on its own now. I'm not quite sure why it stays there. But as you can see, I have pretty much my entire HUD off. This is how I play Cyberpunk. Now, there's always, no matter what, going to be a waypoint on the screen. And I can't get rid of that. That's something I just can't do. But I will figure out how to get to that point. So this kind of gives me the immersion part, as if V kind of knows V's way around Night City, but I, as the player, need to kind of figure out what direction I need to take, what streets I need to take to get there. So I am actually on the mission for Arasaka and, gosh darn it, I've forgotten her name. Shame on me. Hanako. So Hanako, and I'm glad that CDPR kind of did this, gives us a little bit more briefing information. But Hanako Arasaka is part of this mission. Break into the security room, give me danger. So Goro Takemura and Hanako are going to meet up at some point during the parade. And once the parade is over, I escape, or try to escape, and jump into this this elevator here, and then I go down the elevator, and then when I pop out from the bottom, or at the bottom, that's where N54 News anchor is, recording the news. And you as a player can actually stand in between the camera and the news reporter. I think is it Gianni? I've forgotten her name. Gillian? Is it Gillian Anderson? No, Gillian Anderson is actually an actress. His name on the X-Files. Stand by. I've taken notes on this. Sorry, I wish there was some music that you guys could listen to as I'm doing this, but I have taken vast amounts of notes on this game, sort of my own log, and I believe it is a video that I did on V's apartment. You can go watch that one to see. So it is Gillian Jordan. I think, yeah, Gillian Jordan is in 54. So Gillian will be down here doing a report after you finish this mission, after Hanako is kidnapped or captured by you and Goro, and she'll be standing right here. And you can get in between her and the camera, and she'll say, "Hey, I'm trying to do a story here." It's that kind of stuff. I wish you could do that with every personality in the game. Like, meet them on the streets, bump into them. I mean, that would be cool. Even like Ziggy Q, like know where Ziggy Q normally films, and then maybe he's filming somewhere, or you bump into him or do a mission with him. Like even Lizzie Wizzy. Lizzie Wizzy is like one of those famous people in Night City, and it's very rare to meet them, but when you do meet them, you feel like you're meeting a celebrity in Night City. They don't do that a lot, aside from maybe Hanako. There's not big names that you end up bumping into, like the Watson horror episodes that should have been airing, which we never got to see any of those episodes. Every Wednesday night, obviously never happened. Would have been cool if they would have had those episodes. Even the TV shows. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. This is like one of my favorite streets right here, because its verticality is very apparent. I end up finding myself back here so many times because you got Aerodyne vehicles or air vehicles running through this area, and all the way up there is you can essentially just descend these steps, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going down. Even over here, like it just keeps going. But what am I thinking? The Chippin' In, or Chip In? I think it's Chippin' In, that TV series. Or even the car enthusiast, the car show guy. Like, bumping into those characters would be cool. And maybe I haven't seen those specific episodes, or maybe I haven't bumped into them, and maybe they exist, and I just haven't seen them yet, which would be cool, and come across them, and it'd be more surprising. Yeah, but this is one of my favorite areas, just because of its verticality. Just keeps going up. Still got streets and buildings above me. Alright, let's do a side gig here. Let's take off the main job. And that's another thing, is you can't, I would like to not track this objective. I can't take this objective and not track it unless I start tracking something else. See, now the main job is no longer tracked, but it has to track something. The only time that ever comes off is when you have to call, the objective is to call one of the NPCs, then you won't get that in-game waypoint always on. Alright, with a little help from my friends, that's a Pan Am Palmer. Cinderman. I fought the law, call Elizabeth. Okay, so this is an example right here. Perfect. So if I have this and the next objective is to call, you won't get any waypoints. So now the screen is essentially 100% clear. The only thing that I can't get off of there is this little like standing and squatting icon in the bottom right. Otherwise, the screen is completely clear, and I don't know why I can't turn that off. I know when I'm squatting because I'm shorter and I have this dark silhouette around the edges of the screen. I know that I'm squatted, and I move slower. Like, if I don't know that, then I don't need that icon. It's a worthless icon. Now, I think there is one way that I can get that to disappear, and it's when I'm driving a vehicle. But I think then sometimes I get the vehicle's speedometer. Okay, so I think that might only be for a car. Yeah, so now I have a screen that is completely clear of a HUD. All the information I need is right in front of me, how fast I'm going, and then I become more familiar with Night City just by driving around here. Now, I would like that, hopefully this happens in the next gen update, the street names, I wish those would pop up a little bit faster. So I'm here on Crescent. And I don't know all the streets yet, but I do start to recognize some of them. Like, I believe there is a Berkeley Avenue that has this really nice overpass that goes straight down the center of the road. Now, just for the sake of... Oh. I must have triggered a... a battle of some kind. But anyway, a fully clean screen. Now, this is on console, obviously, and I know that PC players can do this all they want. They can mod their games to perfection. So see, the street name doesn't load fast enough. I think Republic Way has one of my favorite restaurants on it. It may not be Republic Way. It might be Martin Luther King Avenue. You guys still haven't learned to pick up your client and fly away. This I don't understand. Gosh, I would hope that they would fix this. Because Trauma Team, I would hate to have that membership because all they've done, I mean, look at it. They're just sitting there and not doing anything. They never take off. I could stare at them and they may glitch away and disappear because the game for some reason decides to make them disappear. But they should be packing them up in the Trauma Team vehicle and flying off. You guys are doing a horrible job. I do not want your membership. I want your membership, but looking at the way that you guys are treating clients, I don't want your membership. Alright, so Sebastian gave me a message. More vehicles. Actually, a nice off-road vehicle. Another job. Like, they just, like... Oh, that's the... Alright, so see, now I've got a job that I didn't know I was tracking. So now I have to go back into Journal. Notice I'm following this one. I do not want this, so I can't deselect it, unfortunately. Side jobs. I think I fought the loss, so yeah, this is the one I want to track. And I almost feel like I want to kill. I want to keep this one unfinished so I can always at least go back to a point where I can have a fully clean screen. I would like to get to the point where I can be familiar 100% where all the jobs are, the locations, because all the jobs they do have a location on them. So I mean, if I go over here to the Journal, I think I said this already before, and I select this one, or this one right here, and you have the job. So this Aldecaldo camp, that's where the job is located. So you can go to Centerman, have to sit at this location, and what I would like is if you could have sort of the messages. So if I went back to, let me see here, if I go to the Journal, messages, cars for sale, that's the message. So what did I get it from? Yeah, Yeah, so sometimes you get these messages, right? And this right here is a mission. And it says, do drop in. So if I always know where the do drop in is at, I never need to look at a map. I'd like to get to that point to where I know where the do drop in is. And some people might know where that is. If you told me to go to any of the mega buildings, I could find a mega building on my own without ever having to look at the map. I could find out where the mega buildings are. One, because they have a number on those mega buildings, so you just look in the skyline and you can find out where you're going. And it looks like they have learned to go around us now. They've gotten better at doing that, because it used to be if I was sitting here in the middle of the road, I think if I sit in the middle of the road, they won't go around me. Of course, I don't have any right now. Let's go in front of this guy, see what he does. Yeah, see how he tries to move a little bit to the left? If I back up for him, he may go around me if I give him just enough room. Before, they wouldn't do that at all. So they fixed that a little bit. Still, they should make up their mind to just enter into the other lane. Let's see what this car does. Now they should just go into the opposing lane traffic and just go around me. That's what they should know how to do. But they don't know how to do that yet. That's what I want them to learn to do. That would be an overhaul of the systems. Yeah, see, they don't seem to understand what to do. Alright, so I have this mega building. Like, if you get familiar with the mega buildings, so this is mega building number 9. This is in the middle of city center. It's very close to city center. So if you went out to the map, and you can see that, yep, I'm in city center. I know that 8 is over here. I say this a lot when I do my videos to kind of get people's bearings. You've got mega building 8 right here. You've got 9, which we're standing pretty much right by. You've got 10, which is V's mega building. 11, and then 12. And then 7 is one of the largest mega buildings in the entire game. And it sits right here. So you got 6, 7, 5 is kind of nestled back in here close to city center, but it's outside city center. I believe it's outside city center. Yeah, it's in Vista del Rey. And then you've got, so I said 5 here, 4 is here. No, 4 is down here, 3 is here, 2 is out here, and then 1. Like, if you know where the mega buildings are located throughout Night City, you can get an idea. My next challenge for myself is to become familiar with all the roads. Alright, I said I would do a mission. Again, I'm more of an explorer of Night City versus gotta go do a mission. Let's do Beast in Me Badlands. Let's go do Claire's mission. Alright, 4 kilometers. So I'm going to the Badlands. Let's... Emperor. So I think now that I'm out of the vehicle, right? Out of the motorcycle, I now have that bottom right icon for squatting and standing. But if I get in my vehicle, remember in the motorcycle, it would go away completely, and they need to fix that. When I get in a vehicle, I think I always get the speedometer. Oh, that's only when I go out. Okay, so if I'm in first-person view, I get all the HUD off when I'm in a vehicle. But if I'm zoomed out, I can't see my speedometer, so it gives me one in the bottom left. Alright, let's go do a race. Yeah, the races are really not... because they're scripted, and players can't just repeat them, which is a massive loss on the part of CDPR. Like they should have known better to be able to make races that players could make, or that could be randomly generated throughout the map. Yeah, a huge misstep. That's the biggest problem that I see with Cyberpunk 2077 is the lack of minigames and activities. There's a bunch of jobs, but once you've completed the job, they're gone. There's no repeating of things. Similar to Gwent, right? There was Gwent. That was a repeatable challenge. But there's none of that in Night City. It's a mirage of activities, but you cannot partake in those activities. So I'll go somewhere, shoot something up, which I enjoy. It's well done. All right, so now we're coming to the kind of the southwest corner of Night City. And if you also notice here, I'll go into photo mode here real quick. Let's see if I can get the camera pointed over there. Take off the depth of field. All right, so let's go back to camera. We'll zoom in here. So I know Mega Building 4, and I can get my orientation. So now I'm kind of pushing down further south, south corner. Now the AR means it's Ario, right? So I know I'm going to Ario. So if you're not familiar with the overall layout and you're trying to find specific maybe sub-districts of Night City, the first two letters, I think there might be some that have three, but the first two letters of the building will tell you what sub-district that building currently occupies. So building 4, if we go into the map, which one I'm looking at right here, this is building 4, and if we zoomed out a little bit, you can see I'm in Ario, the blue kind of outline, right? So it's in Ario. Now, I believe Mega Building 6 will also have an AR on it. Now, will Building 7 have AR, or will it have like an RC on it? I'm not 100% sure. But, anyway, Badlands. Claire, race. Yeah, the races, I hope they bring them in. Like, it seems like a no-brainer. Put a... Why is this blocked off? Is this the end of construction? Oh, okay, well, let's find another way. Just put a starting point and a stopping point, and the game auto-generates a race path, just like it does right now. Like, I am the starting point, right? So I am the starting point. I would go over to the map, and while I'm on the map, the game knows when you're on a street. The game knows when I'm on a street, because if I hit, like right there, that, you hover over this and then create a race point. Once you create a race point, now you start from the point that you're at, and as soon as you hit the gas, or maybe it puts a starting point like 3, 2, 1, and then go, and then you can race to that point. Or maybe it has predetermined ones so that you can always start and stop in the same place. Maybe make like a couple races around the city. But let's say that I wanted to race to this specific checkpoint. Right? These could be checkpoints. You just hover over, let's go right here. You hover over this fast travel point, and it will put the closest point on the road. So see if I wanted to go right here. If I selected that, right, this is a drive path and a walking path. Now it knows where the walking path, I guess, stops. So I guess if that's the closest point and it's already predetermined, then this would be the end of the race. Like, it's so simple to add, I would imagine. Like, how can that not be simple? Like, the systems are already in place to make it easy. Why don't they? Like, that would be an endless thing that you could do. And then when you win a race, and maybe they pick random NPC cars, but I know there's a lot that I want. There's a lot that other people want. Are we going to get it? I don't think so. But, we can dream. All right, I'm going the wrong way here. So I actually enjoy this part as I learn more about Night City, how I can get to this point over here. I did not expect it looks like I can get the main road, so let's see if we can get back over to the other side here. Not quite sure why that other building was, or why that other highway was blocked off. Like, especially in Corpo Plaza, the pedestrian traffic options when you get into that loop are very limited. So I need to go over to those highway points there. How do I get to those? Is this a connection here? Let's see, what is this? Santo Domingo. No, well, can I go under? If that's the road I want right down there. Alright, this should take me out to the Badlands. But what would also be cool is, okay, let's say I wanted to bring the map back. And I went over to the interface and I went down to the map. Alright, so now it's on. So now, see, here's my cookie crumb. These are my cookie crumbs. And I could use this and I would constantly be staring at the cookie crumbs to make sure that I was getting where it is that I needed to be. But I'm not a huge fan of it. Because I would be constantly looking at it. And I know other players are too. I don't like that. What I would like if I had this up is to tell me what road I'm on. Just tell me what road I'm on. I mean, all the roads are labeled for the most part. I don't think all the highways are labeled or given a name. But I don't really see it giving me a benefit other than following cookie crumbs. And for me, that takes a good chunk of what it is about the game and what is Night City, and taking some of that exploration and discovery out of the game. So I highly recommend anybody who plays games, if you can play the game, play it without maps. Discover how to get around without using your map all the time, using it as a crutch. It's like Ghost of Tsushima uses that really good wind. You can just call on the wind and the wind will kind of point you in the direction. But you don't always have to have the cookie crumbs laid out in front of you to where you have to constantly stare at it. All right, I need to get on the other side of this dam. So I'm pretty sure I have to take this off-ramp up here to go up along the dam. Expansions in games, I would also like to see tackle this. Like this building is under construction, or maybe construction is stopped, or there are buildings that do have active construction going on, or active crime scenes or something that just never, ever get removed. I would like to see games do a better job of that. It's like expansions advance time, and you can activate or deactivate expansions so that they don't show up in your game, or they do show up in your game. That should be your choice. Imagine you could probably remove the game. Lost a little bit of traction there. But I've actually found new areas in the game that I had not seen, just exploring the map this way. So I don't even know 100% sure if me using this road across the dam is going to get me to my destination. It may, but if it doesn't, then I've learned something. And plus I've gotten to enjoy some of the view. This is a pretty good view. Still don't like the fake car system they've got going. And I have a previous mini video that kind of shows how I think that this. See how they've populated the roads. Look how busy Night City is. But when you get down there, it is never that busy. And I'm hoping the next gen update will address that to make it busy. So when you're driving along major roads, you're dodging in and out of cars, like you can in Grand Theft Auto. But even in Grand Theft Auto, its current state on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 Pro, you get more vehicle traffic if you have the more updated game. I mean, that game's been around through. Now it's going to be 3 generations, and it's coming to the next-gen systems too. But how busy it is, I think that those were supposed to be synced up and matched up with, especially when you get closer to it, when you're able to have both the 3D model of a car and the sort of flat pixel shaded kind of one that you see in the distance. I think the 3D model ones and the pixel shaded ones, the low res, flat, however you want to describe them, are supposed to meet up with each other. So when the 3D model disappears, the flat one appears. And I've made a video on it, and you can go look at it. It's got the thumbnails like 3 green arrows pointing at each other. But I think that's the way the system was supposed to work, and it shows that it's working in Corporal Plaza near City Center in that video, but I don't think it's working as they had fully intended. Alright, so this is the direction to go. And I believe this is also, like, look at how busy the road looks. Right, look how busy that is. All these cars coming down the road should disappear. Like they should disappear, slow down, and then the 3D model should load where the flat model ends, and then continue on. And I've shown that in a video that exists, that system works. It doesn't work like realistically, but it works. Instead of me driving down here right now and everything disappearing, that is wrong. Like, look at all these people coming from Judy's like hangout shack, her little deep diving. Like, and then there's nothing. Like, there should be no cars on this road. But I understand the system that's in place to try to make it look alive, but it just sort of just doesn't feel right. I hope they work on that. This is a mission with Judy. You'll come to this place. You'll jump out here to meet Judy, and she'll be working over here, setting things up to go on a dive. Now, I'm pretty sure coffee with thin milk. This is one of the more elaborate looking computers, but again, it's set up for a scripted event. Obviously, you can see inside. It looks like it's all modeled still. But I'm pretty sure that you can't jump down in here, because you go deep diving in this, and there's like a city down here. Oh, it's still here. Oh, it actually is still here. Can I actually go down and swim down here? Or do I die? Oh, it gets too dark. It's really dark. Okay. Alright, well that's interesting. They do have some of the modeling of the area that you go down here, but there's an entire like highway down here. And again, that's part of the Judy mission. And you can go and get one of those oxygen breathing apparatuses, which I might do. I didn't even think about doing this to explore it before it becomes a scripted mission. Yeah, they need to work on the water. They said that they're working on water to make that better, because obviously, see, there's no splash of water, no ripples of water. Anyway. And I love the game, and I've said this before, love can be blind. I have put on some blinders, and I've allowed and tolerated specific things, like we all have, but it still has enough for me to I keep coming back to this game. And that is primarily because of Night City. Like, I love the city. I love visiting the city. I like messing around in the city. Alright, let's get this race going. And I'm supposed to sit down. I remember about this mission. I don't think I meet Claire here. I think I'm supposed to sit down and wait for her. I'm supposed to wait somewhere. I wonder if I'm supposed to be up against the... This is weird. Watch every time I do this, then it updates. Oh, I think I'm supposed to call her. This would be where, like, if I had everything turned on, like if we went back into settings, I bet you it'd say give her a call. But, sorry, let me go into settings. Let me turn everything back on. Like, watch what happens when I turn everything back on. Minimap. Now it's going to tell me exactly what I need to do. Yeah, call Claire to start the race. Now look at all this stuff that's on here, man. There's so much stuff, and I don't need most of it. It's nice to have the map because it tells you what time it is. But I don't like the mini map. I wish I could take the mini map on and actually have the clock, or because I can always bring up the clock, right? And this is essentially, I'm imagining that this is like V bringing up a heads up display. And I wish they would have made it look more like that, where V would be, because they all have these glowing eyes, right? And they have these things that they can see. Like this should have looked like they were looking through this sort of augmented reality heads up display. This should have been it, and I'd be fine because I can get the clock down here. I don't need the clock, and I can always bring up the map whenever I actually need it. The only thing that I don't get is the constant tell you what to do next, which I guess is okay, but you kind of see how I figured that out on my own is I probably need to call her because it is a mission with Claire. So, I mean, I kind of figured that out on my own. And that's sort of what you would probably figure out to do in real life. I mean, you're not always going to have a heads-up display, but it kind of fits into the Cyberpunk lore. And all the stuff on the bottom right, if you don't already remember how to do all that stuff, like if you don't know that you're pressing your R1 button, oh, there's a new vehicle. I like all the vehicles, man. All the vehicles in Cyberpunk 2077 are great. I didn't like the free DLC with like one single vehicle. Like, I guess thanks, but doesn't really make up for some of the shortcomings. But all the other vehicles, like, great, really good. Quadrojet Javelin track job. I don't want to track it, but anyway, back to the heads-up display. I don't need to know that if I press the triangle button in the bottom right of the screen to draw my weapon. I've learned that. I've played enough of the game. I guess it would be helpful if people have not played enough of the game or they're coming back into it after being away from it for a year. Maybe they've forgotten, but generally, I know how to use that. And then how to use my health. I know that's pushing up to call my car. I know that's to push right, and pushing down is on the phone. Like, I know all that. So I can get rid of all this stuff that's at the bottom. And I don't need this little icon or tell me what to do next, because generally what you're supposed to do next is fairly intuitive. The health bars, because they're dynamic, I'd like to know how much health I have, because it's not, like, your screen doesn't necessarily turn a different color. I don't think I haven't really paid attention to it in a while, but yeah, turn off that. Boss health bars, they die when they die. Ammo counter, your weapon's depleted when it's depleted, and sometimes you get an ammo counter physically modeled into the game. Hints, why do you need to give me hints? Action buttons, learn your buttons. Activity log is sort of what it is that you've picked up. Like if you picked up something, it'll tell you, hey, you've picked this up. Crosshairs, don't really need it. The crosshair, sometimes I just know where the middle of your screen is. The job tracker is sort of what I've got up now. It's telling me to call Claire. Johnny Silverhead HUD elements. You play Johnny Silverhand so rarely, it's not even worth it. Just get used to the way that you have your current HUD set up. Target marker, NPC names. I don't need all that. All right. I don't have motion sickness, so that's there. Anyway. way back to it. So I know I need to call Claire. Fully healed. And give her a call.
Hey, Claire. Next race. You ready?
It'll be a tough one. Off-road, lots of lead flying. We'll take Beast. I want to try her out in the field.
Nova. FYI, I'm already here.
Perfect. Join you in a sec.
Sounds good. See ya.
So it would be cool, like I wish they would do this. It would say sit down and wait until a specific time. Like right now it's 8:16 a.m. And maybe the race always starts at a specific time. And if you miss it, then maybe the race just happens the next time around that time. So it would be cool if I could sit here and chill and then slowly watch all the racers arrive. That would have been next gen. That's rare. I mean, it's not necessarily next gen, it's just better design, I think. But again, massive game, lots of time spent making it. Or you could fast forward to the specific time, but currently all you get to do is fast forward time. But wouldn't it be cool? Oh, I'll go do another mission and come back at that specific time.
Oh, you mean him? Honestly, I don't know. Must go solo. I don't. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, try.
Okay, all the racers. You can usually go up to the racers, and sometimes they'll make comments.
I really thought you'd stand me up again. I thought Bully would have to ride shotgun.
Bully is a fantastic shot.
He is. But he's talking, always. Too much. His mouth never stops running. It's distracting. I take the turns too wide.
So next time I actually don't make it, there's duct tape in the trunk. Just saying.
All right. I think if you miss their conversation, they'll just get in their car. So this conversation was happening when we first started in. I initiated the other one. Let's go see if we can hear another one.
Listen, kid. You're to shoot holes in those El Decaudo rat bastards.
Oh, stop the conversation because I'm riding with she's not an Aldecaldo.
No, I don't have it. Well, how am I supposed to know who's got it? Dude, this is your problem, not mine.
Hey, V. Good to see you again.
Got another race to run, huh?
Second of 4, I hope. Ready to go off-road?
It's not a fan-friendly event, is it?
Who'd want to bake in this sun?
Speed, carnage, a crunching metal symphony? Yeah, dull stuff. Think this one will be tough?
Badlands, so no fucking around. Anything goes in this race.
So you'll have your hands full.
You too. One mistake and we'll be a 4-ton tumbleweed.
I can do this.
Okay, I'm just gonna melt under that sun, so gonna wait in the car.
Sure.
Hey guys, remember! Maximum madness!
What? Man, I can't hear you. Wait. Oh, you mean him? Honestly, I don't know.
Now, she said she'd wait in the car.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, try.
Okay, well, she finally got in the car.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your pants on right, strap in, and fire up your engine. 30 seconds and counting.
Now I have to race.
Ignore him. Luigi tries to get in people's heads.
Yeah? What's up?
Just wanted to wish you luck.
Thanks!
Yeah, I have to race in this view. This would be so awesome if there was just a bunch of races around Night City. Like, it would be so much fun. The combat isn't all that great, I don't think. And, like, there's some races that you can get into that are... You have to use this vehicle, like now. But there's some races where she'll let you decide your vehicle, and the vehicle that you bring doesn't really matter, because it does absolutely have a rubber band system going on. So if I'm doing really well, you can see how they're pretty much right behind me. But if I'm doing really bad, they'll kind of slow down. But even look, I can slow down. And I don't think Claire or your shooter will ever take out anybody. And you can't destroy the other vehicles. At least I haven't ever seen it happen. It's a very bouncy race. It'd be cool, you would have to take out at least one or two. There was some objectives, you have to take out this racer. Now it kind of becomes that, spoiler alert, at the end. Yeah, there'll be and then there's always a sandstorm, right? The storm that I'm coming up on here. There's always a storm. It'd be cool if it was a random thing, or maybe sometimes it rained, or maybe it fogged up, or maybe there was sometimes acid rain. But it's always this sandstorm I roll up on. So again, the map not being front and center, and I'm always going to have this sort of this guide on the ground. It actually makes the race a little bit more challenging versus me just looking up at a mini map to know when my next turn is coming. So I have to be a little bit more cautious. And I can see I'm getting ready to come up on a turn here. Just because of the in-game aids versus the stamped-on minimap. Alright, I've got a little over 10 more checkpoints. They're still on my butt. That's the rubber band system working. Little cleaning vehicle there. It would be so much better if I had to take out some of those other racers. Otherwise, I would not win. If you don't take out a racer, your chances of winning are substantially higher. But I haven't taken out any racers. You see, they're all still back there. I mean, it's a cool set piece. It's just your outcome is not that big a deal, or your efforts for shooting is not that big a deal. All right, 3 more checkpoints. 2 more checkpoints. Final checkpoints.
Our winners today, Fee and Claire!
We did it, V! We won!
It wasn't easy.
Right up to the finish line.
Yes, it was easy.
Your last driver is better than I am?
He was. A good husband. An amazing wheelman.
So you're racing for him?
He adored this shit. Had a keen mind for machines, unmatched. He could talk to him. When he got behind the wheel, it was like he fused with it. But just him. No implants.
What do you say we win this for him?
I'm counting on you. About a lift to my garage?
Normally, I would say no because
Sure,
the
thanks.
Let's go.
getting lifts from NPCs is painful. Now, generally, they don't know how to drive. They will drive extremely slow. But sometimes there's conversations to be had. That was a glitch. Kind of dropped below the world. Actually, she's driving at a pretty good speed. I'm just going to turn down the music because I can't in-game. So I'm going to have to do that in settings. I'm going to have to do... I don't know if that's car radio. Let's bring it down to 15. There we go. Yeah, the in-car music was really loud. Sometimes there's conversations, and I'm surprised that they don't always have them available. Like, I hope that... It's been a while since I've done this mission, and I usually choose not to help her during the end. But man, we just won a race. There should be conversation going on. Learning a little bit more about her husband, maybe. What's going to happen here? Oh, is she going to drive right through it? Oh, wow. That's... See, that could have been a random thing in the road, which would have been fine, and then the AI, Claire's AI, would have driven around that versus driving through it. Maybe even her looking to the left would make it feel a little less on rails. So you got all these cars stopped in the middle of the road. That's something they need to fix. They definitely need to fix that. But it's cool to kind of have this ride. Like, I'm okay with this ride. But there's no conversation going on. Like, we're completely quiet, and I have no way of... Even if I've had dialogue with her before, it would be nice not to be quiet. Maybe I could review some dialogue that I've had with her before. And I would say, surprised they didn't think of this, is anytime you repeat dialogue, because sometimes you can have a NPC say the same line of dialogue that you've already heard. If that ever happens, I think the main character, V, should just say, hey, remind me what you said about, and then go into it. Like, look at her hands. Like, the steering wheel doesn't move with her hands. This is something that I thought they fixed, and it looks like she only has 4 fingers. The opposing thumb and then 3 fingers, just the way she's gripping. But, like, her hands are not moving with the steering wheel. And I don't know why some of the characters do that. I think it's something that they need to fix. Yeah, I think if I hit the circle button, since she's not talking, it should skip all this. Yeah, like, I would like to have a conversation with the character. Like, why they didn't add some dialogue in between, that was a mission, and I've completed that mission. I'm not going to be doing that mission again unless I do another playthrough. Create some interesting dialogue. All right, this is back by her. Like, this part I don't understand either. She said we're going to go back to her garage. We're going to go back to the garage. She's going to kick me out. This is not me selecting to get out. And then she leaves. She doesn't go to her garage, which her garage is right there, and she's gone. Like, I have no idea where she's going. I've ridden with her before. Like, for some reason, she stopped at the light. I've ridden with her before, and she goes down the road, and she turns look how busy it is down there. But when you get there, there's nothing. I hope the next gen update really fixes a lot of that. I mean, they've had a year to continue working on content and stuff that they can plug in. Like, I hope there's a revival of Night City, because I do enjoy the place. Like, all the groundwork's there. All right, I think that'll do it for this stream. I appreciate those that watch during the live stream. I appreciate those that come by and watch the recording of the live stream. Some crazy stuff going on over there. And please leave a comment. Tell me what you like, what you dislike. Tell me a game that you'd like to see me stream, and if I have it in my collection, I will add it to my queue of games to stream. I return to Cyberpunk 2077 very, very frequently, so if you ever want me to stream Cyberpunk and have a discussion, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys on the next video. All right,